everybody, and welcome back to another race day. Qualifying session, should I say. How are you all doing today? We have, once again, Peter on commentary joining with us.
Hello guys, once again, pleasure to be here for the Belgium Grand Prix. What an interesting weekend it's going to be today.
Of course, this is the third time we are here in Belgium, and we all know, well, I think we all know anyway, if you guys have kept up with Season 1 and Season 2. If you haven't, go check them out right now, because it's just as exciting as this season, with, you know, a bit more commentary issues from me, because I wasn't used to it back then, but here we are. But yes, as I was saying, we are back here for the third time. I think we all know the history of this track within the DFL Championship. Each time we've DNF'd this track, it has not gone well, to say the least. Hopefully it goes a bit better today. But I guess we shall find out, you know? Who knows? What do you think, Peter?
Yeah, I'm for sure this weekend we can break the curse, you know, the Belgium curse. But no, I think this weekend we got Charlie, we got Preston, and we got George, and we all know what happened last time when these three were all in track. They were all fighting for this one position. So who knows? So maybe today, can Harry maybe get in the mix today as well, and maybe take revenge from what happened last season in Season 2, DNFing when he probably should have won the race.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be an interesting one, that's for sure. Harry is going to be looking out for, as you say, vengeance. Who knows what's going to happen here today, but it's definitely going to be an exciting, very, very exciting race today.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, it's going to be a very, very good. It's a very it's not a long lap, but it's a very fast track as well. I mean, Dan. I mean, we was meant to have one person here today, but I don't know if he's going to be joining. So, I mean, I would have wanted his opinion on like how he'd want to set up the car, maybe, and how he would maybe prefer to do like a flying lap round here in Belgium.
Yeah, definitely, but he may be joining later, who knows. But we're actually going to pull up the share screen right now, as we normally do. And we're going to review the current table. Now, it's quite an exciting table. I must say, Charlie running away with it a bit more. What would you say for the Drivers' Championship here, and how can Belgium affect it?
Well, you know, I was actually reviewing the table, and one thing I've noticed with Charlie, if you look very closely, he won the first race and then DNF'd the second. He won the race after that and then DNF'd once. Well, he didn't score points after that, actually. And then he won in Britain. So can maybe today will Charlie DNF this race? I don't know. It's just a theory. It's just a theory.
Let's not jinx it. Let's you know, let's keep it back. But who knows? We just, I guess we'll find out, won't we? Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting one. Of course, what do you think about, unfortunately, Jamie didn't make it in time. It was very unfortunate, to say the least. Hopefully he'll be in next time, but of course his top Red Bull AI will be what AI he gets placed under. Let's see if he can get some points and catch up to Charlie. I mean, Carl again wants, you know, not here, very unfortunately, but hopefully we'll get him back in very, very soon, because he's only been here for Bahrain. So hopefully get back in soon. You have George and Preston and then Harry. I mean, what's going to happen with those three today?
Well, I mean, you know, Harry can definitely show that he was running out in the front. Definitely was proven to run at the front when he overtook Charlie in Britain, but never ended the way that he wanted it to, having two crashes, one with the race leader, Charlie, and then one with Bradley. But, you know, I think I'd like to see Bradley maybe get up in the mix today. Oh, and speaking about Bradley, he's only, I'm pretty sure that's only, like 6 or 5 tenths off of George's provisional pole.
That is actually 7 tenths off of it, right? Because, yeah, 7 tenths.
Yeah, no, you're right, yeah. Like 7 tenths off of George.
Can we appreciate Charlie and Bradley 1/1000th of a two thousandths of a second off of each other? That is just, oh wow, that is just amazing, to to be
Yeah, I
honest.
mean, a person who hasn't had a good lap is Preston with a 153.2. Maybe he encountered traffic. I mean, I don't know. Haven't really watched him.
Whoa! Harry
As
has
Harry
already
retires from,
retired.
and Harry has retired from the session. He will be able to run in the race, but we do not know what happened to Harry. So Harry is out of qualifying, which is quite an unusual case to see.
It
So
it
who knows what happened?
it really is. I mean, he's currently P4, but this is a chance for many AIs to overtake him. Maybe Preston as well, who looks to be on a much faster lap than what he did previously. But Harry currently in P4. What do you think he's going to jump down to?
I mean, it's all about watching the other AIs. You still have to think that Preston's still setting a lap. And as I'm watching Preston real quick, I want to see if he can maybe be up on George. Who knows? Will he get a purple sector 2 is the question. If I see purple sector 2 and he
There
does
it
go
is.
purple sector 2. So, is... Oh,
Oh
and he crashes
no!
out and he's spun. Oh, no. And that is not a good sight for the person who wants to come here once again and maybe take a race win, as he did in Imola.
What is going on with Preston today? I mean, is Belgium just not a good track for him or something? I mean, I don't know. I don't believe he was here for last season's one. I believe Callum and him were the AIs of the drivers that race. But and Ritvik, obviously. Ritvik joined me on commentary. But wow, very unlucky for Preston, man. Very unlucky.
Yeah, just losing that rear end. So maybe that's something that. So this is what tells me about his set, that he's running a not so high downforce step, and he's running a like more straight line setup, and you can tell that he's compromised his downforce by trying to get straight line speed, which tells me that he's more focusing on the straights than he is trying to put it into the corners. So maybe a setup change for Preston, maybe a bit more rear downforce on the rear end. That's what sort of tells me he's not got much rear end on downforce.
Yeah, 100%. It's definitely going to be an interesting one with the setup Preston is running. I mean, you understand it better than me, and I'm the one who owns this league, so it's a bit weird to be honest. But yeah, who knows? Oh, by the way, we may be getting Jamie in for the race. Now, I don't know how to play this. Do we just say like wherever Max goes, he gets, because that's where he currently is right now? I believe that's
No, just telling me he sucks in the back of the grid. I think that if he's joining, I mean, I don't know. I think he could.
If we're doing AIs for points, like you know how we are, I think it should be the same for quality as well.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely. I mean, as long as the AIs are not, if he gets higher than any of like the drivers, then I feel that, you know, that he should probably start a bit lower, just because he didn't attend qualifying, and that it is his AI doing it for him. But maybe we should just do it wherever the lowest Red Bull, should I say? So, say Max some reason finishes P15 and Checo starts P12. I don't know, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I only mentioned Max because that's what Charlie said. Just go where Max is in qualifying or something. So we'll see what happens. Who knows? But it's definitely going to be an interesting one. I mean, right now you have George in P1, Charlie in P2, Bradley in P3, Harry in P4, and then Preston all the way down in P20.
Yeah, I mean Preston. You know, we saw what happened to him. So just taking it away a little bit. I'm currently on board with George, about to watch him start his flying lap to maybe further help his advantage over Charlie. So maybe this will be interesting. George missed last weekend, so which means the championship gap between those two has risen by, I think, more than 30 points now. I'm not entirely sure what it worked out, but last time it was only 8, and then Charlie went and won the race in Britain. So the advantage is quite a bit. So George needs to win this race and maybe hope that Charlie doesn't do so well this race, and maybe help George gain the advantage back. And
I've only just realised something.
What's that?
Preston's in a Haas.
Yeah, Preston's always been in Haas.
David is in Haas, unless we move him to Williams.
Yeah, he has to go Williams because Preston's has always been in a Haas.
Yeah, we'll have to move him then. But that's completely fine. Unfortunately, Bailey is not here today, so he is not live on Twitch right now. But
Oh,
do go over to his Twitch because he will be racing the next one, I'm sure.
yeah, I was actually wanting to talk about Bailey a little bit because maybe his AI might be able to get points. Maybe not the way he wanted to get points this season, because he wants to do it based on his driver skill, obviously. But he obviously wants to get points this season, and maybe this race might be able to help get him up in the championship. And as George is currently 4 attempts up on his lap, this will probably put him into the low 44s. In the lap time at the moment, as George runs goes through the bus stop chicane. Sorry, can't speak. He goes with the fastest lap with a 1:44.6, fastest of all, and is gone even quicker. So he's basically more than a second now over Charlie now. So Charlie has to pull out a miracle to maybe get pole from George. But as we're watching Charlie, oh no, Charlie's only on the outlap, I think. If not. Seems a bit unusual. His times are 4 minute point 2 at the minute. Well, 30, should I say?
Oh, did he slip out or something, or what
I don't know.
there?
It doesn't. I don't think he was on an outlap because
He got
it would have said
145.
on out.
Just popped up 145. What?
No, it's not. It's not. It's not. It was glitched. Yeah, I think this is his actual lap now. I think hopefully this is his actual lap now because I can walk you through it. Obviously, going up El Rouge opens up the DRS. This is a great opportunity to maybe get some overtakes and follow behind the slipstream. So maybe having pole is not so good because you'll be at a disadvantage as Charlie is only 0.002 off of the pole sitter, provisional pole sitter, so say George. Charlie's really trying to push the car to the limit, so he's really gained quite a bit. So maybe he can gain something in the middle sector. Maybe he's not running as much high downs for us. He's maybe trying to go on with a balanced setup as well. As he comes down through now, Puon is the corner of this name, I believe. Keeping it nice and smooth on the power, making sure that he doesn't go wide. If you go wide, you lose a bit of time and then you start to tear up your tyres a bit more. Going through the section, keeping it nice and easy on the throttle in fifth gear, go slightly wide onto the gravel. Coming through the section, you want to use all this curve up on the left-hand side, as he's currently 4 attempts up on his lap time, I think, or it might be on George. I don't know yet. I don't know how it works out when I'm watching it, but as he's coming through now, it's just a straight on, keep on the power, keep on the right-hand side, keeping it easy for him for the left. Now coming down to the bus stop chicane, keeping it nice and easy on the brakes, and now coming through the final corner, early on the power, opens up the DRS, and what will it be? And I don't think he improved by 5 tenths on his lap, so didn't improve by much. So still has more work to do with 4 minutes 30 left of this session. And one person whilst we was talking through Charlie's lap is Preston. He's only a tenth off of George.
He's getting much closer, only 1/10 of a second off of George now. It's definitely going to be a real interesting fight this whole race. Harry is somehow still P5, but that somehow is holding up. I mean, by only 2/10 of a second. But well, I guess well done to Harry for staying there. Jamie has also joined.
Yeah, I mean,
so he'll be taking position of someone.
And I don't think he does because I don't know if he can select a car when he joins.
No,
I think he just spectates.
If he joins, then I think it would be he comes in as a car. Surely.
No. You come in and then you can watch as a spectator, I believe.
So we will probably have to leave the session after this. That's fine. We can get Jamie in, and then probably put him as Max Verstappen P11. But who knows? We'll have to see how it goes. Bradley back out now, trying to get the about 6 tenths of a second up on Charlie. Do you think he can find that pace somewhere, and where do you think it will be? Norris with that 5-place grid penalty as well. Very unlucky for Norris.
Bit of carnage up ahead, and as you can see, watching, if you're selected on George, if not, go select on George right now. I'm currently watching him. I just seen like a bunch of cars just in front of him. So George needs to back off a little bit to maybe build the gap he wants. No, George is fine. He's at the back of the grid. He's just, well, not the back of, he's the back of the pack of the train. So he's just trying to let things die down a bit and build a gap. And I think that is Preston now, who's just passed George, I think. No, Preston's still in the pit. So that was Mick Schumacher who went past George there, the other Haas. So George just letting these cars pass. And who knows what's going on? I mean, it's quite interesting because it's yellow sectors through Sector 2. And I don't even know what's going on at this rate, Dan.
I really don't know, to be honest. It's kind of going chaotic. I mean, I think the yellow flags are actually caused by George because he's not going at full pace.
No, it's not George because the yellow sectors would be on him, and it's not even him. It's the train of AIs that were causing it.
Well, I definitely think it's a mixture of both because normally when you're going about 4th gear and staying in that gear, it does go to yellow flag. But who knows? I mean, should we swap over to Charlie, who is Bradley, who are currently Bradley's behind Charlie and trying to catch up. I believe something's happened to Charlie actually here.
No, I think he just went off wide to let Bradley through so that he didn't get in his way of the lap. I mean, let's see what Bradley can do. Does he gain time? He doesn't. He's down. He's down by a 10th. I don't know to who. Charlie now retires in the session, so his hopes of getting the pole is gone now completely. Down to 2 men now getting this fight for pole, either George or Preston. But as Bradley comes down to the bus stop chicane once again, some reason just can't speak for this.
Yeah,
part.
I was right. Charlie's gone out.
Yeah, he is now. I don't know what's happened though. But will Bradley even gain? Will he gain P3? Who knows? And he doesn't. He loses 4 attempts, so he was 4 attempts down on his best lap. So maybe will he do one more run, or is that going to be it for him for now?
I definitely think he'll be able to do one more run. He'll be seeing it's only got 50 seconds, so he'll be thinking, wow, this is my last chance. I'm going to push all I can push through these corners and make sure to get best time I can.
And one man who's currently in the pits, and George hits the barriers and he's gone wide. So has he got damage? He wasn't a flying lap. I just see him go straight off into the barriers. And the question is now, oh no, what's going on in Belgium today?
George is retired as well. This is an utter madness. I cannot wait for this race.
Yeah, who knows what's going on here. And I think the pole goes to George because Preston is in the pits unless one man still out on track, and that is Bradley still pushing the car, and he loses the rear end as he's slightly dressed, and he's
gone as well.
Oh no, Belgium. It hits once again.
The curse does not stop this time round in Season 3. What an exciting race we are in for, people, with a lot of DNFs, I am sure. Of course, we weren't hoping for this, but we will not say no to some DNFs, because that always brings the excitement.
Yeah, it always brings a bit of excitement of what happens now, but you know, the pole does go to George. So I think it's George's 3rd pole of the season. 1 in Spain, 1 in Imola, and 1 in Belgium. And it's 3 poles for this man this season. It goes to George. Preston didn't even come out for a lap, so he was only a tenth down. But Preston showing that he can still match the pace of the young talent, George.
And Bradley going a bit wide there, but crosses the line here, and that is the end of qualifying, people. We'll see you in a minute, don't you worry.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, the curse continues.
Right, we're back in out, or what's going on?
Right, we are back for the leaderboard. You have George taking out pole position. You have Preston in P2, Charlie in P3, Bradley in P4, Harry somehow still in P5. I really don't know. I believe that's it, actually. Yes, that is. We are missing a few drivers today, so we'll be right back with you in a minute for the race, people. Don't you worry. Right, people, we are in the middle of the formation lap, but welcome back to Belgium for Season 3, the race day, of course, and due to some unexpected technical difficulties, George Russell is now P1. And George, the driver in Alpha, has been put back to P20 with his teammate Valtteri Bottas. I mean, what bad luck is that for Alfa Romeo? Am I right?
Yeah.
It was a custom grid. I put him pole. I swear I will show it on video. But I do not know what's happened, to be honest. But here we are for season 3. What are you expecting from this race now? Oh, George has slipped out already.
It's fine. It's only the formation up. It means he can warm up his tyres and not worry about having to wait. But, you know, I don't know. It's interesting because now George is at the back of the grid, which is most... it's very unexpected what happened. Obviously, Jamie in the race now, and he's P11. So, I mean, I don't know. It's interesting to see. I'd like to see maybe Harry and Bradley scrap away for a little bit, and maybe see Charlie and Preston. So maybe if Charlie and Preston can just keep fighting for long enough and George can make his way up for the grid, I reckon we can have a maybe interesting race on our hands. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, it's definitely going to be an interesting one, that's for sure. But we are lining back up on the grid right now. Everyone warming for getting the last bit of warmth in their tyres. So it's about to get real interesting, people. And we're about to see the Season 3 Belgian Grand Prix, the cursed race itself in the DFL Championship, get underway. And Peter will be doing your lights out here today. So I will leave it over to him to do this.
As all the drivers now coming to the grid, leaving themselves on getting themselves onto the grid slot. George now the final driver to make this happen. Once he does, the race will commence. And now it's 5 lights. And away we go. And now Harry has a drive-through penalty for jumping a start, and as Preston, I'm not quite sure what happened to him. I'm pretty sure he's got a good start.
Oh, massive build up!
Oh my! Massive build up. Preston's down into P3. Harry moved up into P2. Jamie up into P3. Bradley up into P1. What a start! But as Harry comes through El Rouge, it's Harry on Bradley right now as he gets a nice slipstream going down on the straight. Will Harry have the slipstream? Will he have the straight line speed to catch Bradley to go into this next corner? Who knows?
And no matter what happens here, Harry still has the drive-through penalty, so he will be sent to the back, most probably, if we're looking at it properly. But now Charlie is in P6, you have Jamie in P7, massive jump up for Jamie here. But talk about a jump up, I'd say, from P20 to P17, you have George climbing the ranks up that leaderboard. It's a massive build-up of a start. I do not know what happened there, but well done to Bradley getting up there, I would say.
Yeah, Bradley having an amazing start, skipping through all of that carnage into turn 1 and managed to get himself up into the race lead. But Preston wanting to hunt down Harry now, wants to clear him as fast as possible to maybe go and take this win. But now Harry, he's trying to set eyes on Bradley, but Bradley is pulling away with a 2.4 second gap, 2.5. He's pulling up a tenth a second. He is now Harry might have some damage. That's why he might be losing a lot of time. So I mean, I don't know what happened. I don't know why how he even managed to jump the start.
I will tell you now, last season, Season 2, I actually remember it now. The reason why Carl DNF'd that race was because there was a massive build-up at the start of that race as well. So it's always the massive build-ups. I'm surprised no one has DNF'd here, but I guess people just got very lucky today. But yeah, who knows? I mean, Jamie now jumping up to a P7, overtaking his teammate Sergio Perez. Obviously, team orders came into effect for Sergio, and they told Sergio to let Jamie past. Obviously. Yeah,
clearly. I mean, one person I want to focus on a little bit now is George. I want to see what he has in the locker. As George, he's out. He's been hit and he's been spun by Pierre Gasly. And as I was on board with him, he just gets turned in. And now he's at the back of the grid after being hit once again. So now George is at the very back of the grid. And it's a weekend for him. But he'll definitely want to forget at the moment. But going back up to the top to Jamie, he will look to set his eyes on Alex Albon as the gap is only 9 tenths of a second to him. So will Jamie push? And surprise, no one has actually gone on an aggressive start with softs, maybe a two-stop.
Yeah, I mean, a two-stop is very plausible here, to be fair. But it will be very interesting to see how the drivers strategize this very difficult race, I would say. But like last year, Jamie joined us on live commentary after he unfortunately DNF'd. So we're going to try and pull a driver in. Unfortunately, we don't have Bailey here to do that with. So if someone does DNF, I can't speak right now, then we may pull him in. Who knows? We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, can I say something right now? Bradley doing a fantastic job right now, putting a massive gap out behind Harry. Unexpectedly, I did not expect Bradley to be where he is at the moment. I thought Harry might have a little bit more pace in the locker. Maybe Harry's preserving his tyres a bit more to maybe go and attack Jamie towards the end, Bradley towards the end of the stint, and maybe try and get him that way, like he saw him in Britain, tactically playing with Charlie and maybe preserving his tyres like he was in Britain, and then attacking Charlie when it was the best moment in the race. But George currently in the pits as well after this collision with Pierre Gasly.
I mean, you have to think. You have to think as well. I mean, George, if he was on pole for this race, if he was actually in P1 right now, would Bradley still be on top?
I mean, if you compare George's and Bradley's pace, I don't think so. Like, no offense to Bradley, I just feel George has a bit more pace than Bradley in the locker. But, you know, Bradley is currently the person holding the fastest lap, but you know, you have to take in account that people might have some damage and stuff like that as well. So I'm just going to say that Bradley's doing a fantastic job, and it's everyone in here
Jamie's dropping down.
Guys, Jamie's been Jamie, just seen his name drop, and he's as he spun through Pouon, he's now down into P19 with George. So a very unlucky start for two drivers, George and Jamie. Yeah, I mean, once again, Belgium striking the DFL league with the unluckiness that we get.
I don't know what it is about Belgium. It is just a cursed race for us. We just can't survive this race. I really don't know. Oh, Harry is gone into the pits, which means Charlie goes up to P2, closely followed behind by Preston here. Preston will definitely potentially be going for the overtake. Can't get it on that corner, but will be pressing on Charlie. Can Preston potentially get this overtake here?
Yeah, I mean, Preston now, he's aggressively using that ERS if he is. If not, he's got quite a bit of speed and carrying the momentum. But here comes Preston down the straight, using all his DRS and ERS to get through. Will he pull out to the inside? He does. He goes wheel to wheel with Charlie as they go down to this chicane area. Preston sets the purple sector in sector 1. They still go to it, and Preston is now ahead of Charlie. What a crucial move, but very unlucky for Charlie, because now he wants to pretty keep on gaining in the championship right now.
Oh,
but
yellow
Preston
flag in sector 1 and sector 2. I believe I see some cars dropping down. Sebastian Vettel, I believe, has spun out. Lando Norris may have had a collision as well, but it's not doing any justice for our AI drivers here today either. But going back up to the top, Charlie is still applying that pressure to Preston. Can he strike back, or will Preston successfully defend Charlie off?
I mean, you know, we saw Charlie manage to defend off Preston, but you see Charlie almost trying to look down the inside and try and make a move on Preston. So he's clearly carrying that momentum, and his slipstream around Belgium is very crazy as well. It helps you out a lot. You probably gain a lot of speed on straights and back straights as well to help assist you maybe past the driver. And this is what I'm talking about at the start of the season. The cars are able to follow the cars a lot more easier. But the only problem with that is that you damage your tyres a lot more as well by doing that.
Just to kind of let you know when we are recording this, the Miami Grand Prix has just gone up on YouTube at, I believe an hour ago actually, so I'll be promoting that as soon as the this video is over, that is for sure. But what a battle we have with our drivers today. Bradley still pulling away with that gap. I must say it's quite impressive by Bradley, to be fair. We look down a bit, you have Jamie in P20, George got the overtake I think on Jamie, we didn't really see it unfortunately. Harry just got the overtake, or is battling away with Valtteri Bottas here.
Yeah, sorry, just make a quick change. Charlie's trying to go down the inside of Preston, like what Preston did to him. Preston has the momentum to carry through, and he still keeps that second place. Sorry, going back to you, Dan.
Yeah, Charlie is really going for it. Oh, George with fastest lap. George, I'm sure, will be battling to come back in. But yes, Harry, currently in P14, has beaten that AI. Valtteri Bottas will now be going after the AI of Fernando Alonso. And can he get the overtake? Can he spring his way through these AIs, or will he find difficulty in doing so?
No, I mean, I don't know. It depends how quickly Harry can get through these pack of cars. And, you know, obviously with that drive-through he had to do, that obviously did not help him one bit. But, you know, as he still makes a move around the outside, he goes slightly off track. He makes some contact with Valtteri Bottas, but he gets ahead of him and now up into P14 still, actually. So it looks like he was getting under attack by P15 and 16 now, as they both try to chase him down right now.
Oh yeah, I definitely think this is going to be a close contended battle for Harry here. I do feel really bad for Giorgio. Got pole position, has the pole position point. Don't forget that. He does have that pole position point. But, you know, if he was at the top now, would he have lost all those positions? That is a question you have to ask. I mean, George did slip out, and all the cars were so closely contended there that even if he was at the top, he probably would have still lost all those positions.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how this race could have planned out if George was actually starting on pole and stuff like that. I mean, it could have gone any direction, but heading back up to the top real quick, Charlie trying to make a move once again on the same straight as what he did last time. He does try to make the move. He looks like he's a full car length in front now, but pressing on the brakes, just getting on the brakes a little bit later than what Charlie can, and just saying that I can get on those brakes a lot later than what you can, and I have a lot more bravery.
Kind of pushes Preston off track a little bit.
But Charlie now up into P2, but don't just forget about him just yet. Just because Charlie's now passed doesn't mean Preston can't get back past him once again. We all see his pace and we've all known his pace, so watch out for him.
It's definitely going to be a very interesting battle here today for the two of them, I'll tell you. But Bradley is stonking away with this lead.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic because P2 and 3, Preston and Charlie are fighting away. It's really helping out. And, Bradley, no! Oh, no, and Bradley spun it where Preston did in his qualifying, and he's got some wing damage. Now, as the two lead drivers now, Charlie and Preston go through, we were just talking about him. Oh, no. Bradley.
And he's dropping down the pack. It's happening again. The curse continues, but it's targeting Bradley this time, and it's not letting him pass at all.
It's not good, but Charlie will be affected by this now because he's a sitting duck on the straight, essentially. So Preston will have DRS. He won't be able to get him on this pit straight yet, but he will probably try to get him through El Rouge and maybe carry that straight line speed through El Rouge onto the straight.
I know we talked about the Drivers' Championship already, you know. We talked about how Charlie is currently in the lead, and he's in the lead of this race. Very good for Charlie and the drivers. But can we just switch over very quickly? I believe I still have a screen share going on. To Constructors. I mean, Constructors is looking like, I mean, Alpine are running away with it. But what's going to happen with Constructors?
I mean, you know, unless the Alpines get very unlucky during the latest part of the season, we could see Alpine back on top. So maybe, is it the return of the Renaults? Well, should I say Alpine because they're brand Alpine now? But you know what I mean, though. But coming back to the top step once again under the hands of Charlie and Fernando Alonso.
Yeah. Oh no! Charlie spun! Oh no! And Preston's back up to the top. What is this? It continues. The carnage continues. Charlie, very unfortunate, being picked off once again. This curse is relentless. Who is it going to go after next?
I don't know, but Charlie, this is not what he wanted. He didn't crush it. He's still in the race, but he has lost a lot of time. He just lost the rear end. I mean, it's very unlucky. I mean, Bradley, Charlie, what's it next? Preston, maybe?
I really don't know, but it's all there. And Charlie has lost all that time he had, and Preston is stonking away with it once again. But do not think Preston has this in the bag, alright? He really doesn't.
He's not out of the woods just yet, ladies and gentlemen. He is not out of the woods just yet.
It's definitely going to be an interesting. We are only 8 laps in, and how many accidents have we had on this track already? Like, God.
I mean,
but Bradley in the pits now, and that means he goes down to P18. George maybe looking to see if he can get another overtake here, and it may be looking possible. So is Jamie, just following closely behind, but I don't think Jamie will be getting that overtake away, unfortunately. We focus quickly on Harry, though. P11, he is building up once again, ain't he?
Yeah, definitely. Harry looking to come back to the top and maybe achieve the podium, or maybe even a top 5 slot to maybe help with the constructors of Ferrari at the moment. You know, we all know that last season he was in a lucky position to be fighting for the lead, should I say, and maybe leading the race, and then got very unlucky to not win the race by DNF and by coming out of the pits, I believe.
Can we just appreciate, though, Bailey's not here. And we know the rule of, the top AI, that's what, the drivers get. Pierre Gasly, I know it's only lap 8, but it's currently in P10.
Yeah, I mean, it won't be that long, though, because Harry, he is flying, and he's chopped that gap down to 7 tenths now, and because those two cars are fighting, Latifi and Gasly are fighting away, it's really helping Harry to bring him back up into the points after jumping the start and then having to do a drive through a couple laps later. Is now up into P11 after being down to P15 or something like that after coming out of the pits. But now he's trying to make his way back up and trying to make a statement that Belgium is his place and that he can dominate Belgium, the Belgium king, should I say. Mine.
It's definitely an interesting one, and Harry is getting that DRS now, hunting down Pierre Gasly, but Pierre Gasly also has the DRS on Nicholas Latifi, but Harry is going on the inside of Pierre Gasly, goes to the overtake and makes it past Pierre on that corner, now has Nicholas Latifi in his sights. Will he be able to hunt down the Williams of Nicholas Latifi? You'll be finding out very soon, but we're just going to, very sorry Peter, we're going to jump down very quickly to George, Bradley and Jamie. Not a good race for either of them so far.
Nah, I mean, definitely not. I mean, George and Bradley and Jamie all having a bit of a stinker. Bradley getting very unlucky losing the rear engine. George just very unlucky in general. He was climbing up and then lost the position to the position to. I'm pretty sure he spun it, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did. So he spun it and. Clearly not having a good weekend at the moment. We all know how brutal Belgium can be, and especially with the curbs as well, and the new cars as well, making it a bit harder because you can't really ride curbs on this much.
No, you really can't, and it's definitely going to be an interesting one. I mean, George currently has a 9-second gap. He's brought it back from 30 seconds, and he has quite a few more laps left to go to catch up. So we'll check in with George very, very soon. But Harry has managed to get back up to P9, overtaking Nicholas Latifi. Very unfortunate for Pierre Gasly, who is back down to P11. I actually want Pierre or Yuki to climb so Bailey can get some points. That would just be absolutely brilliant.
Oh, and Preston into the pits now. And Bradley, I think he's just spun as well real quick. And I've just seen a yellow sector 1. Oh, and Bradley spun it. So I thought he crashed it there for a second. But heading back to the top, Charlie now up into the lead of the race. And it's almost half race distance now. And Preston now going all the way down into P8 now. So Harry will have to make another stop as well, unless he's went on a new sort of mediums, but I don't think he did. So, sorry. Yeah, sorry. So Preston now making his first pit stop of the race and probably hopefully his last pit stop of the race as he now looks to maybe pass a few cars.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I believe he's on the hards. Now, is hards the best choice, really? I mean, that's the question.
Yeah, but I mean, the pit straight's not really. You lose a bit of time in the pits as well. So I mean, depending on what you can do with a two-stop and what kind of pace you have in the locker, I mean, it's kind of hard because we could say that a two-stop is the best strategy, but in terms of a two-stop, you have to account that you've got to use softs, you've got to use your mediums as well. And the thing is that the mediums, if you're pushing them to the limit, you know, you're not going to have them there for long, and then you're going to be using the mediums to the end of the race to try and limp home with not much tire grip. But with the hard, what you can do is still push to the limit, but not. Oh, and there's a bit of carnage as there's a train of 3 cars of Alex Albon, Hamilton, George Russell, and the Stroll. All now just almost crashing into the back of him, Preston did. But luckily he had the good reactions of managing to get out the side of him.
Yeah, it was definitely a very lucky escape for Preston, we'll be honest there. And Alex Albon has now DNF that race. That'll bring George, Jamie and Bradley up positions each. But yes, Preston is flying up to P3 because Charlie has also pitted now. So this is getting very much more interesting. Harry's still out, of course. Very confusing why. But yes, Preston is back up hunting Sergio Perez right now.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely very unlucky for Albon what happened to him. For a second, I thought there might be a safety car and it could have changed the whole race up. I mean, Harry could have probably had a cheap pit stop if it was a safety car, but unfortunately it isn't. So he'll just have to keep waiting now and until he makes his pit stop and keep on going.
Can I just, I'm very sorry to interrupt. But it's looking very grey now.
I mean, if it starts to rain very soon, it can change the whole dynamic of this race. I mean, we all know it's like a minute 40 round here, so within 2 laps, it's already been like 3 minutes. So if the race is already, like, the rain's like not that far out, it could be 5-10 minutes at max, and then we could see drivers switching onto inters maybe.
Yeah, that is very true, but can we just appreciate something very quickly? Harry, P6, Yuki, P7, you have Bailey finally getting some points, hopefully, touch wood, that it happens, touch wood, but we shall see. But Harry climbing way up to P6.
Yeah, Harry did a fantastic job now, but he still needs to make that pit, like I said. So unless he can hold out into those mediums until possibly, and I think I can start to see some rainfall slightly, some spits of rain come down, this might be working out for Harry a little bit better now because he could potentially hold out until the rain as he moves up into P3 now. So maybe he knows something that the other drivers don't and maybe holding out to get a cheap pit stop without having to make an extra one like the other drivers will if the rain does come.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna mix up a lot of stuff right now, but Preston in P1, Charlie in P2, Harry in P3, then we go down a bit to Lewis Hamilton in P6, obviously Carl getting up there. George finally back up with P7 now, just overtaking George Russell. George is back up.
Yeah, bravo to George. He's really, because he's pitted and because all the carnages and accidents that have gone on, it's really helped him out. I didn't think he'll be in the points, but, you know, George is a crafty driver. He will pull out magical stuff. We saw him what happened in Spain. Started in P1, then went to last and then won the race still. So we all know what George is capable of. We all know he can win that from the back of the grid. So I think this is quite amazing that he can do that, and maybe he sets his eyes on to P5, maybe push a bit harder on those tyres. I don't know what his deg's like, but you know, I think that George has a good shot at getting some decent points this race.
I really think he does. I think he could get back up there and battle with Harry, Charlie, and Preston. To be honest, but we will see what happens, I guess. But we're just going to look down a bit more. Jamie back up to P12. He's had quite the recovery, I must say. Bradley's still in P19.
Yeah, Bradley, he got very unfortunate. To be honest, he's on the softs as well. That I've just seen as well. I flicked onto him, and he's actually on the softs, which so that's a surprise. So maybe he's going for that 2-stop and surprised us, because we didn't actually think that no one would even go for the 2-stop. But as Harry goes into the pits now, maybe not holding out as the tyres want to keep helping him, so he will now drop down and maybe help George, as he will probably go up until P6 right now. So Harry, he will have to fight his way up back up the grid. Just remember, he'll have faster tyres than George, and depending on how well George has looked after those tyres, George could potentially be a threat, at risk to losing position to Harry, because his tyres are not as new as Harry's. They're quite old now.
I do think Harry is at a disadvantage, though. I mean, you say new tyres, but he's on the hards. They have to warm up before they can effectively become effective. So that also comes into the question: how will they be able to warm up fast enough? Will Harry be able to really get into those tyres before George Russell overtakes him? And we were about to find out, I think. I mean, George Russell holding off a little bit, but he definitely wants to go for that move. But can Harry successfully defend off the Englishman himself?
Yeah, I mean, talking about that tyre warm-up real quick, everyone has their own ways of warming up the tyres. Everyone runs different tyre pressures. So some people might find it easier to warm up their tyres than others do. So maybe for me, because I can normally warm up the hards in a lap, maybe a lap and a half, because normally I'm good at it takes me like a half of a lap to warm up mediums and stuff like that. So depending on how hard you can work those hards at the start, we could definitely see some interesting stuff.
George had the fastest lap, but no, Charlie has taken it. So that if he keeps it, that'll be another point. And that's a 149.078 for Charlie right there. I believe George had a 149.089, so that's only 1/10 of a second. Not 1/10, 100th of a second between those two fastest laps right there.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the pace similarity between those two is quite interesting, but maybe because Charlie's on those on the newer hards, George won't be able to push as hard as he would like to, maybe. But as he sets his eyes on Hamilton, maybe trying to look to make a move, can he make the move is the question. I mean,
I really think he could, to be fair, because George is really going for it. He wants that P5 position, and although he may be a bit annoyed that he didn't get into first place at the start of the race, he's back up, and I think he'll be more than happy if he can stay up. But that is a question: can he stay up?
Yeah, I mean, look, the next person behind is Harry, and he's only 4.6 seconds behind. But, that's quite a bit of a gap, to be fair. Just seen a yellow sector too. And
Jamie's gone down.
Jamie.
Yes, that is Jamie.
Jamie's had another incident once again, and he's lost his front wing. So could this potentially be a safety car with debris on the track? It won't be, as they keep on moving, and it's green flags now. Jamie once again getting that unfortunate once again, as George looks to now try and make a move on Hamilton in the back straights now before he gets down into the bus stop chicane. Will he get him under braking? He's pushing Hamilton right now, quite literally, as he goes round to the outside, crawls back inside. He wants this DRS on Hamilton. He's faster than Hamilton. He will get past Hamilton if he can. Gets early on the throttle right there, and will try and make a move down the inside. If so, he will try and make a move up into P5. He won't just yet, so he'll have another shot up in Ferrell Rouge onto the straight.
And I really think that George could take it here, with or without DRS. He is still the faster car out of the two of them. I never thought, I bet you never thought you'd hear someone say that a Alfa Romeo is faster than Mercedes. But here we are, and George has just proven it on the outside of George Russell. Takes that position, but George Russell may not be letting him overtake. But no, look, I mean George Russell. Lewis Hamilton. Bloody hell, Lewis Hamilton. Unfortunately cannot keep up with George. I'm getting confused. Unfortunately Hamilton loses out on P5 and George takes it. But now Preston is still up at the top with that 3-second gap. And I believe, have we got anything? We got Jamie in the pit currently. You've got Harry up in P7. What a recovery by Harry as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's really good for Harry, and more impressive for George, because, you know, Harry was actually towards the front of the grid, actually started in the top 5. So the fact that he jumped the start was very unlucky and was down the driver error, to be fair, I think. But apart from that, you know, he's done a fantastic job. He went from P15 all the way up, but the person who's done a better job today is George. He's spun out. And Jamie's retired from the race. Will this be a safety car? I think, yeah, and it is a safety car.
Oh my god!
And it's just brought this all back into play now. And George is near the pit, so will he make the pit? He does go into the pit, so he'll probably try to go on the softs right now. I'm speaking quite quick right now, but everything's moving quite quickly right now. So George heads into the pits as the other two drivers, Charlie and Preston, they don't come into the pit, so they're now at risk to maybe George getting into the pits. I think Harry stays out. George is going to fall all the way down the grid. I don't know. Was this a bad decision from George? Was it the right decision? Who knows?
I definitely think it was the right decision. It's safety car. George, it's going to be close quarters. George can get back up there, but it's going to bring Preston and Charlie in close as well. This just makes it much more interesting. I'm currently asking Jamie if he wants to join in and help commentate the rest of the race, just like last season. We've got to keep that sort of thing going, haven't we? You know, obviously we don't want Jamie to DNF, but if he does, yeah, I would. You know, why not get him in? He's currently typing, so I'll let you know what happens.
Very nice. Obviously, this safety car has just changed the whole thing, and I was wondering if we would see a safety car at all. And if we didn't, it would have been easy pickings for Preston and Charlie to secure P1 and 2 for themselves. But the safety car has changed the whole dynamic of this race. And for one man specifically, George, the man, he's on sauce at the moment, so he has to make this. It will be about 4 or 5 laps left of this race when the safety car comes in. So George will have nothing but be able to push on those softs to the end. And we all know softs are good for maybe 6-7 laps. So George is more than good to push for the rest of the race.
Preston and Charlie are both pitching at the exact same time right now. What will Preston go on? What will Charlie go on? I believe Charlie is going on the softs, and so I bet is Preston, and he has. And I believe Jamie is joining the call. Should we go on to the interviews call? So Jamie can join?
Yeah, we can do.
Or driver's lounge, I think it might be better. I'll move over now. But yes, people, it's definitely going to be a very interesting thing, that is for sure. I will get Peter in right now. There we go. Peter is now back in the call. What is your whole opinion with this whole thing? I mean, it's definitely a very interesting one.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a crazy race so far. We've seen a lot of action in this race, but obviously I didn't expect Charlie and Preston to pit, which was a little bit surprised. But, you know, obviously they have to cover off the threats from behind who have probably pitted for new tyres, so they're not at risk for maybe losing their position. But George down in P12 and has to maybe recover. He has to recover his position all the way up until P5, P6. So he's going to have a lot of work. He's got to have a brilliant start. But we all know George's luck under safety car, especially in Miami, not having a lucky Miami race for him. But coming back to this race, Belgium, we never know. Could George potentially come here and get P5, score some good points?
Oh, actually, before we discuss George, we do have Jamie in the call now. I believe he's currently muted, but as soon as he comes on, welcome Jamie to the commentary box.
Hello, you're right.
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm good, mate.
How you feeling after that?
Bit annoyed to be honest.
Yeah, I could imagine. Did quite a good job to bringing it back up, and then got very unlucky. Yeah.
Yeah. But at the start of the race, it went pretty well. Got to P4 by lap 1 in the first corner, but I got damaged from that first corner. And then when I was going, I think it is like around the second last sector, I think it was, and I got on the curb a little bit too much and spun, and then later on, I'm pretty sure it was lap 14. I tried to overtake Tsunoda, and he got back past me and spun me out. And then I had to pit for a new wing, and then I went on the softs, and then I spun again and broke my wing again, and I just gave up.
It's a very, very unlucky race for you, mate. I have to say.
This track, I like this track, but it's always I always have such bad luck on it. It's unbelievable.
This track for us is cursed. I mean, remember season 1, everyone DNF. Season 2, everyone DNF'd. It's not a good track for this league. I mean. Right, but I don't know. It is a weird one, but I thought I'd get you in because, of course, last season you did unfortunately DNF, and you joined us in the commentary box, and then Harry just decided, you know what, he's going to go and DNF and just mess the whole race up, and we didn't actually finish the race. So I thought, what better? I mean, we were meant to have Ritvic here as well, so unfortunately it hasn't come full circle. But I thought, what's better than getting you in, and let's actually finish this race. Hopefully this time, touch wood. We have literally 4 laps left to go. It can't go wrong in 4 laps.
Jamie, obviously you're a driver of the season. I mean, let's just take it away from Belgium real quick. I mean, how do you think your season's gone so far?
I think it's gone alright, to be honest, minus a few meh moments in Miami and stuff like that, but and Bahrain. But the other races, I think they've been pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to get an opinion from one of the drivers today. Hopefully, I was hoping that Rick would have joined us today, but obviously he hasn't attended. So, I mean, how would you look to set up your car? I mean, around Belgium, like, what would you want to focus on more in, like, putting onto your car when coming into Belgium this weekend?
I'm pretty sure it's just all focused on the aerodynamic side, just so you get your top speed, and then you got a good aero, so you can turn the corners pretty quickly.
Yeah, I was saying more. I saw a couple of drivers, and I saw Preston. He was doing one of his qualifying laps and actually lost the rear end. So that told me that he wasn't running much downforce on his car, especially on the rear end of his car. And it told me that he was trying to gain more straight line speed. Talking about Preston right now, as the lights go green, as he goes to cross this line, it is lights out and it's gone green. So we are back to racing conditions again. And now Preston looking to fend from Charlie.
Jamie, can you see it? Are you still on the game, or do you want me to share screen?
I'm second.
Cool, nice one. If you see anything we don't see, like an overtake or anything, please do bring it up.
Yep.
It's definitely going to be an interesting battle between Preston and Charlie. Charlie may be going after Preston on the inside. Charlie launches through it in the corner, but can't take it. Preston manages to defend it off nicely.
Yeah, looking very good. Harry up into P5 right now. So he's looking to try and make his way onto the podium possibly by the end of this race.
Jamie, what's your opinions on the other drivers? Like, be brutally honest.
brutally honest, I think they're all pretty good drivers. We haven't really had an incident like where we've all bugging each other up, but overall, I think we're all alright.
Fair enough. I mean, with many more drivers this season, obviously, are you enjoying this season more, or do you miss the OGs?
I'm enjoying this season more actually, because I find the cars, this year's cars, I find them are quite easier to drive, because the other ones, the last year's ones, even with setups, they're just unpredictable, and you can't tell what they're going to do. But these ones, they're proper easy control.
Sorry, can I just interrupt you there real quick? George is currently flying through the pack right now. He's currently up into P7 from P12, so he's going to try and make the most of these tyres on these softs now, and he's going to try and get past Hamilton as he's on the hard. So George will definitely be the fastest car out of the two, and hopefully make his way up into in a higher position and gain a lot of points this race. As George goes down the inside of Lewis Hamilton, he pushes him slightly wide, but George gets ahead, and his next opponent is now Harry.
What do you think the outcome's going to be out of this battle, Jamie, between Harry and George? I know you know Harry very well in this game after 2 full seasons and a bit of this season, but do you know much about George? What do you think the outcome of this battle's going to be?
Well, what I've noticed about George is, from what the races that we've been past already, George is a fairly quick driver, because in qualifying and stuff like that, I've noticed he's been like a second ahead of us. He's a very quick driver, so I'll give him that.
Yeah, I mean...
So I wouldn't be surprised if he gets the overtake on Harry.
Yeah, I mean, the fight between George and the rest of the grid is quite interesting, actually. And is Harry on the hards, as what I'm seeing? And yes, Harry is currently on the hards. And this is going to make Harry an easy opponent for George as he tries to go around the outside of Harry. Will he make the move? Harry doing amazing defending. George looked slightly down the inside, but didn't want to make the move just there because he could think it was a bit of a risky move. But George is definitely the quicker driver out of those two real quick.
It really is an interesting battle, but George maybe go for the overtake on this one, goes on the inside of Harry and manages to secure that. Now has Jamie's partner in sight, that is Sergio Perez. Jamie, I bet, is absolutely wishing that Sergio could keep him up, could hold George up, but that is probably not going to happen. George goes on once again the inside of Sergio Perez and gets it. And he's up to P4 here. He has one last AI to overtake with 2 laps left to go of this race before he's caught up to Charlie and Preston. Can we see the 3 of them go at it this race, or will George not be able to get rid of that 6-second gap that Carlos has on Charlie?
Nah, I mean, I think it might be a lights out for George for the race win, but it isn't lights out for him for not getting that podium. He can potentially get this podium P3 if he can pass Carlos real quick on the straight, as he does have DRS and Carlos signs. But will he try and make the move here? He looked down the inside once again, but thought, I'm not making the move this year. It looked a bit too risky, but he has gained a lot. So both Ferraris still on the hards and not gambling it on to go into the sauce to be the... to maybe cover off people like George. As he tries to go around the outside of Carlos Sainz, they go wheel to wheel. They're still going wheel to wheel. Oh! George spins. Oh, no!
Oh, Jesus!
Oh, no. What a
massive
shame.
build-up. 5-second penalty to George. Oh, my good God, this is mucked up. Lewis Hamilton DNF here. What has happened here? George's race has completely gone.
Yeah, I mean, that's really not good. He was in the podium position, and then when he was making the move around on Carlos, it just got, unlucky for him. It was just unlucky, and he will probably not finish in the points this race, and not good. And when we thought he just recovered his race, it all went back in the bin once again.
It really has, in a very unlucky time for George, I must say. But can we just turn our attention to Harry? I mean, the one that seems to always have to battle Jamie in these races. Up in P4. Can Harry catch up, or will he settle for a podium here? Jamie, what's your... I mean, actually, he maybe go for an overtake on his partner. Is he really going to take the podium off of his partner here? This is Ferrari versus Ferrari right here, people. What is going on?
Yeah, I don't even know what's going on at this rate. Jamie?
I'm currently watching the first two. Charlie just had DRS on Preston, but Charlie is getting closer.
Do you
Oh,
think it's... Oh,
It's now dropped of 5/10 of a second between them.
wow. But Harry has that P3 position, and as Jamie was mentioning, it's such a close battle between the top two. Harry has 11-second gap to close on Charlie. I think this is just going to be a battle between them two. Boys, predictions right now, final lap. Who is winning this battle in the last few moments? Quick response.
Preston.
Rit.
Preston will have him. He'll hold him off. He'll be able to hold him off. We saw what he did to George and Miami, and the defending skills that he had was just amazing, making the card wide as possible, even with DRS and George being slightly faster than Preston. But Charlie, I think it's all over for Charlie. It won't be a win for him today, but it will be the win for the man who's come back once again and won in Imola. This could potentially be a second race win. Yeah.
And people, sorry, I'm very sorry, but Preston comes round the final corner, and that is your winner of the Season 3 Belgium Grand Prix, coming back once again for his third race of the season, showing up all the drivers. The reserve driver has done it once again. What a race by Preston, I must say, and Charlie to get that P2 position. Harry will soon close off that podium, and there we go. Sergio Perez get P4, so quite good for Jamie in the constructors right there. But well done to Preston, to Charlie, and to Harry for that podium position. Sorry about that, people. But George finishing P9, he's going to be taken down quite a bit. But Bradley up to P10 here.
And Bradley recovering his race towards the end of that on the very, very last lap.
But yes, as Preston taking P1, driver of the day is going to be George. Well deserved in my opinion. But we'll be back with you with the podium in a minute, people. And here is your podium once again for, I believe, for the second time this season. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Preston walking out onto the podium, skipping his way to that first place stand. Alongside him is, of course, Charlie in second and Harry in third. What a great race we have all witnessed here today. We'll be back with you in Hungary next weekend. Don't you worry, people. It's about to go down. But the championship continues. And also check the Discord to find out what the current table is. I believe the Imola Grand Prix will be the first time we have it. Then from men, we'll have it every race. So go and check it out, people. And this is your leaderboard just very quickly. Preston in P1. And then Charlie takes P2. Harry takes P3. Then Sergio Perez in P4. Carlos in P5. George in P6. Lance in P7, Fernando in P8, George takes P9. We're actually going to skip the rest of the AIs because I don't care about them. Bradley in P17, Jamie unfortunately DNFing in P19, but I'm sure he will confirm he's going to come back strong in Hungary, won't you, Jamie?
Yeah.